In this video, we're going to do the free response 2011B number 3. It should be the last free response for chapter 6. And it says that an airline claims that there's a 0.10 probability that a coach class ticket holder who flies frequently will be upgraded to first class on any flight. The outcome is independent from flight to flight. Sam is a frequent flyer who always purchases coach class tickets. And then A says, what's the probability that Sam's first upgrade will occur after the third flight? So you need to know when you read that, if you're talking about the probability of getting your first, that's going to be a geometric probability. And so we have the formula for geometric, and you could use this formula. Now this is just like PDF. What's the probability of, that would be like, what's the probability of him getting upgraded his fourth flight? But this is after the third flight. It could be any flight that's after the third greater than 3. So that's going to be CDF, and so I wouldn't recommend using that formula. So once we determine that it's geometric, let's label what we know, or what are we finding. So I determined it's a geometric distribution. You wouldn't necessarily have to write this out in your free response, but because it's probability of getting first success. So it might help if you go to your calculator to geometric and see what it asks for, and that's what you're going to write down. So menu. You could technically go to probability or statistics. Either one will get you there. And then go to distributions. And then geometric, I go up because it's so close to the bottom. And now because what we're talking about is the probability of getting his first success after the third flight. So again, after the third is when x is greater than or equal to 4, right? Because remember, when you use your calculator, it always does equal to. So you could say greater than 3, but try to always write it in terms of greater than or equal to. Jump up to the next one. So when you go to geometric CDF, it asks for the probability of success. So what's the probability of success is getting upgraded. So the probability of success is 0.10. And then it asks for the lower bound. So if you're greater than or equal to 4, the lower bound would be 4. Upper bound is he could get as many flights as he wanted. There's no cap, so infinity. And it says 0.729. So how I would write this down, just to make sure you get all your credit, is that probability that we're looking for is going to equal geometric CDF, and then label all your numbers. The probability of success we put in was 0.1. The lower bound was 4, and the upper bound was infinity. And that equaled 0.729. Okay, so for part B, it says, what's the probability that Sam's will be upgraded exactly 2 times out of 20 flights? So if you're looking for the probability of getting a success, a certain amount out of a certain number of trials, that's binomial. So in your head, how to check binomial is you're checking bins. I will say, when I looked at the scoring guideline, you did not have to write this down. This is more for you to know, can you use binomial? So remember, binary is B, and that means is that just in terms of success and failure, right? In this case, success is getting upgraded, and the other option is no upgrade. Can you define it in terms of 2 different options? Success and failure. Is each trial independent? Which if you read the problem, it tells you. So that's a check. Is there a fixed number of trials? What would our N be? 20. And then what is the probability of success? The same every time? It's 0.1. So because of that, we know we can use binomial distribution. So is it going to be binomial PDF or CDF? Well, we're wanting the probability of having how many successes? Is it greater than, less than, or an exact amount? An exact amount, what's the probability of having exactly 2 successes? So that's going to be PDF. If it was greater than, or what's the probability of upgraded more than 5 times? It would be CDF. Or less than 7 times would be CDF. But if it's an exact this many times, PDF. So menu, again, you could go to either one of those. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Go to distributions. Binomial PDF is A. Number of trials we know is 20. Probability of success is 0.1, and my X value that I'm looking for is 2. So I know I already wrote it down here, but I just want to be double careful. So I'm going to write it all down. My N is 20. My P is 0.1. And my X was 2. And that equaled 0.285. That's the probability of getting upgraded 2 times out of 20 flights. Okay, part C says, Sam will take 104 flights the next year. Would you be surprised if Sam receives more than 20 upgrades? And then justify. So justify, you need a numerical number to help you. So, because he took 104 flights, that was your N. And we want to know, would we be surprised? So we want to know the probability of getting more than 20 upgrades, which is your successes, right? So now we're finding the probability of X being more than 20. So when you write it like that, see if you can rewrite it to be in terms of equal to. So if it's more than 20, you got to bump up. That means X needs to be greater than or equal to 21. Because it can't be in between 20 and 21 for flights. So now that it's greater than and less than, we're going to do binomial CDF. So go back to the calculator, menu, statistics, distributions, and CDF would be right underneath it, B. My number of trials is now 104. Probability of success is the same, 0.1. My lower bound, use the equal to, 21. And what is your upper bound? How many flights is he taking? 104. So it is not infinity. And there's your answer. So let's just write down all our stuff. N is 104. P is 0.1. My lower bound was 21. And my upper bound is 104. And that probability would be 0.001. So if you think about, that's a very small percentage, right? It's about 0.1% if you change it to a percentage. So would we be surprised? Yes. So you would just say, yes, we would be surprised because there is only about a, and now you could keep it a decimal or change it to a percentage, whatever you prefer, 0.001 chance of getting upgraded more than 20 flights out of 104 flights. However you want to word it, just make sure you go back and actually answer what they asked. So that is everything for that free response. So let me know if you have any questions as you're working through all these.